I'm here on voice. Just give me a little... Getting a little bit of... Just realized all my freaking water and everything was out, so... Just getting a little bit of a refill slash... last minute setup things. And then we're starting off Stationeers. Which has actually been... Det var allt var slut. Allt var slut. All the water bottles and everything was just out. It was all empty, and my back is excitably killing me at the moment. Cat wants to sniff the freaking carbonated drinks. Oh wait. There we go. Okay. So Stationeers is not loading because it was on the beta branch. Can't have that. We want to have it on none because we want to play on the stable branch to be able to play on Mimas. And Stoosh, hope you're having a good mid-week slash, you know, technically sort of the middle of the week, but not the work week. That makes sense. Good Thursday. And anyone else who might be sneaking around here, hope you are all having a excellent week and excellent Thursday. Let's just cut right to it. We're just gonna pull up that, and we're just gonna hit load, and it'll be playing nicely. And we just do this, and then it'll eventually pop things around. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, Mickey. Now I have 2 water bottles filled up here. And the game is running. I did want to get that overlay thing finished up and done, so I could have the little border thing and be nice around it and whatnot. And then that would also include a little cutout for the cat camera, as you did see the cats on the camera. They were there. They are alive, just roaming around. So let's just hit that load right away. Getting a little bit of overlap with the audio here. There we go. And then I will be on camera here in a little bit. What was I even doing? Let's start off with some food. Actually, you know what? Am I sane? I don't know. We're probably not sane. There we go. Or the freaking Stream Elements update. It updated stuff just prior to me starting up the stream. So now, of course, the camera broke. Video. Toggle preview. Is the camera working? The camera is working. Is the camera working in OBS now? No. Do I need to kick it in the ass and reset it? Probably. We hit deactivate and activate. Yeah, there we go. But it's doing its weird fuzzy thing. But you know, we'll live with it for now. What do I do? Then I have the cat turning off or turning Alexa on mute. And the audio is a little bit loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. Just a little calm thing in the background. Right. Well, if you are tuning in here for the first time, welcome. Name's Iceforge, and we are doing a continued Mimas run on Stationeers. On Stationeers, Brutal. And apparently we just snapped the achievement for Brutal Legend, surviving what, 200 and I don't know, 200 and something. It did a thing. Or Steam, it did a thing. It didn't show me post thing, but it showed me. Furnace Master. That's the line. I don't know. It gave us an achievement. Can I shoot? Can I look at the chat? No. Can I look at the console? No. Brutal Legend or something like surviving more than 200 days on Brutal. Yeah, let's we need to make some more bread. We are gonna need to... How is our... Our potatoes are a little bit sad. That's fine. But we are completely out of wheat, so we are also gonna take the opportunity to chug up our suit here. And harvest some wheat in the meantime. There was one part of me that wanted to automate this. Just have it lodged into a refrigerated... sorry. A refrigerated vending machine, and then checking for the quantity in the vending machine. So if we had like 2 stacks of wheat, it would send it over to a composting unit instead, but it would keep harvesting. I made the bread, right? Did I not make? I picked the bread. Could have sworn I hit create. Oh well. Eating some delicious bread. I mean, to hit 5 stars on the bread without any butter or any, you know, additives to it or whichever else, it's got to be some damn fine bread. It's got to be the best freaking bread you've ever eaten. But then again, you are on a desolate planet all on your own, so I guess any bread is awesome bread. Let's pop that suit back on. And hit the manufacturing. And let's do the usual suit routine. So, replacing battery, replacing waste tank, replacing air tank, and then replacing propellant. And we go up here and we check our rocket. Still chugging away mining. Which is obviously, it's, you know, it's down to 41%. Once we hit like 30%, if the vein isn't depleted by then, the density should be decreasing every time we, you know, or a good chunk as we're mining. Yeah, so that's still like 187. Well, more. So that's still like another 1,000 ore, which we are definitely not going to be able to harvest. Well, we'll just let it run for now. So I need to do a rundown on the station here to figure out what the hell we were doing last time. Because we were dealing we were technically dealing with iron, or a crap ton of iron needed because of the chutes. We were sorting out we were sorting out the sorting station. We need steel to run pipes for the fuel. We're gonna need to drop down the other combustion centrifuge. We're gonna need to write a new script for the combustion centrifuge, unless we load up the Europa save and nab that one. Because I'm pretty sure that script was working pretty good on the loadout on the centrifuge, but it didn't really have anything to deal with the emptying of it. Fuel to the rocket is fine. So the question comes in with, do I run a singular gas line? Like a singular additional gas line to handle the centrifuge fuel. So that means it's gonna be a gas line containing both volatiles and nitrous oxide at a 1-to-1 ratio. And it's gonna go there, which means it's gonna be less gas in the pipe overall. And it'll kind of mix on demand. But the centrifuges doesn't really take a whole lot of mixture. So I think it might be fine. We just need like the singular tank pushed up to like 800 kPa. And that should be good. That might be what we are doing. So we're gonna need a whole bunch of silicone. We don't need to eject the silicone right away. We just want to grab more of it. And then that's gonna be a whole bunch of pipes. We do have an insulated tank, so we don't need to make that. We've got a couple of insulated pipes. Not a whole lot though. But, 40. Not like we're gonna need, 400. Totally not. And then we're gonna need that fuel mixer down there. Ooh. Yeah, that's fine. That's 60 silicone. We might as well just leave that. So, do we start with a mining operation? Probably not. I also need to expand the greenhouse. It's actually gonna take... You know what? We got iron for that now. We have iron for that now. So let's make a couple more hydroponic trays. And fill out the room. Since we got enough now to fill up the remaining of this room. Now question is, do we just expand it in all freaking directions? Or do we just make this one room really, really big? Or do I make several smaller, 3x3 clusters, even though they're sharing the same atmosphere? Or do I just build, expand this out? I'm tempted to just turning this into like a 5x5. That might be the option. Just move the liquid pipe a little bit, and then we do switch things around. That way, we technically don't really need to move anything outside of the grow lights, maybe. So grow lights, grow light. How much are they using? They're using 70 each. Ooh, it's not an inconsequential amount. I mean, I do like the setup on the grow lights for the 3x3. Because it's properly covering the whole room. But then should we just go jungle and fill up the whole space in the middle as well? And you're walking in the fields of grass? Maybe? In that case, can I move the light one tile over? Questions, questions, questions. All I know is I need more silicone to run pipes. And I'm glad we had a whole crap ton of iron so I could make a bunch of extra ones. And then we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we do have a bunch of frames here. Maybe I just do it. Maybe I just do it. You know what? You know, just like expand it. Just go crazy. Like that's 4, and then we just do this, right? Because our problem right now is that we're running up with we're ramping up the CO2 production way too high. So we just do this, right? Now the question is, can I get away with just moving the grow lights out a bit? So we'll like shuffle that one over there. And then we move this one further down here. Or am I better of just expanding them out a little bit? Or would it be better to go uneven and do like 1, 2, 3, and then do that and do another row, maybe. Yeah, it'll probably add less lights. Possibly. Now, this is not necessarily in line with my original plan of how I wanted the greenhouses to be. But it does give us the ability to, once we want to move the crops over to something else than just oxygen. We do have the capacity for it, and in case we move that site, we get more space that we can use for the command center, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Or we could just move all the crops in here, and we can have this. We can actually turn this into a little living space. I don't know. Or just cram more plants is probably the option that we're gonna go with. Did we have walls here? We got flat walls, which is not glass. Right, rocket. Keep a track on the rocket. 30%. Yeah, I think it's time to call this bad boy home and then refuel it and then send it out to send it out on another rocket expedition. We might do some scanning. We might just head over here, and then we do scanny, and then see what we get further out, and then see how much fuel we need to actually, you know, go further. Because we could cram in a little bit more fuel. We could also slap in a few more tanks that will allow us more fuel into the rocket. But then we probably need to start looking at liquid fuel. That might be a good one. Fly over to Titan. Or Titian. Grab that nitrous oxide ice. And that would be an amazing... Because that has a significant density and significant size. Also the dense pollutant ice. Like, holy smokes. Yeah. That might be... Because when we leave... I can't head over to the B rings right now. Because that requires us to fly to the A ring. And then over to the B ring. And I think we're going to bleed too much fuel. But we could fly to the A rings and see how much fuel we're using. Because it took us roughly 3,000 to get here. And I think we're just going to exceed our capacity at that point. I mean, to be fair, it's the battery that's gonna be a problem. 6,000 ore. We set this to idle, and then we're just gonna head to the earrings. Turn off the miners, and then we are going to. Yeah, see, we've got 5 or 4 out of the 6 batteries are empty. And then we just do 75% throttle. Turn on that engine. $9,000 roughly. I'm counting based on that. I mean, we should be fine. We should really be fine. Like, I know I said that last time, and last time we were not fine. But if we're using 1,000 mole per destination, right? So it's 1,000 to get up, 1,000 to jump, 1,000 to go to a destination. That's our 3,000. It should be 1,000 there, and it should be 2,000, 3,000, and then we'll have like 5k moles left to get back in. What do you say? Do we go for it? I can save and do rocket distance test. I mean, I think we should be fine. I think we should be fine, unless the distance here is absurdly long, which I don't know until I try to go to it. That's 200 seconds. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no. Let's head back here. Let's set Mimas orbit as destination. Because that's still gonna be... Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be cutting it close enough as it is. I don't know why we're descending and freaking... That's annoying. That's also very silly. We want to land at silo 2. Okay, so that should have us en route home. And any fuel we haven't spent on our journey is fuel we don't need to load up on the rocket. "50 seconds will be in Mima's orbit, and then it'll start descending, and it has almost 10 minutes worth of fuel to get its ass down." That should be plenty. What do we have here? Is that panels? That's plating, right? Yeah. And then we're looking at large panel above. A couple of more regular flat walls. And then we're gonna need some other walls. What? What seems to be the confusion, mister? We're just gonna, you know, build our little thing here. There we go. And that is gonna be a whole bunch of... No, that's not where I wanted to put it. Come back here. Get back inside. I was hoping to push it against the roof so it, There we go. Aha, look at that. Beautiful. Silly little wall, or silly little... Not wall, but... other things. Wall. We need a lot of walls. How many walls do we need? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 regular walls. Gonna let it make a few. I'm still kind of annoyed over the fact that I didn't get this thing to work the way I wanted it to work. I want to get that eject reagent working. And I also want to be able to do like execute recipe. Because execute recipe, you can specify quantity as well as the item type in the same command. Wall, and then we do flat wall. That's going to be a bunch of them. And watch this go. Whee! Oh, no. I always feel so aggressive when I'm standing in front of the chute. Pretty sure it's gunning for my life. So let's do window. Whee! Dun, 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 dun. There we go. That is our walls, or our windows, and our walls placed down. Now we just need a few more roof pieces, and we are golden on those things. Just realized I'm gonna need some more of the steel sheets, and I'm also gonna need a whole bunch of silicone that we are gonna need to mine. I just didn't want to start with mining again. I felt like we needed to do a little bit more productive thing. Plating. Thank you. Felt like a little bit more. It's constructive building. Before we started doing boring mining things again. I also wanted to get the rocket back. But yeah, our reasoning behind the greenhouse right now is this guy keeps climbing, this guy keeps dropping. We want to switch these around. We still want carbon dioxide to keep climbing a bit, but we also want the oxygen to climb a lot more. Since the CO2 is easy. CO2 be very easy. Once we start to also expand our power production, it's gonna get easier. Whereas we got 5 glass sheets. That's not a lot of glass. That's not a lot of glass at all. And you're gonna make those 37 pipes. I think we're just gonna have to bite the bullet and go mining. That's just what we're gonna do. Of course, after we've dumped the stacks of steel sheets and glass. Making sure that we cover our asses here and we don't just leave a giant gap. Because that'd be bad. That'd be very bad. That means all of our plants go poof. We have seeds to do a batch, but we don't have seeds to do all of this again. That would take a while. Let's get some plastic on these windows. Get these shuffled around. There we go. And then we can start with the glass from over here. I mean, technically we do have the glass here. I mean, can't we just rip the glass piece off and be done with it? Yeah. Technically we could. Also, please let me out. Don't mind me just putting the glass there. Just let me out in the closest freaking window. Nope. You put glass there, silly. No can do. Now those steel sheets, they freaking fly. Oh, we can put some ceiling in. So that is all the ceiling. Now we're just missing, well, the 6 glass pieces. Yeah, Yeah, we're just missing the 6 glass pieces, and we can open up and depressurize a little bit in there. I'm looking forward to the oxygen increasing instead of decreasing. That's gonna be nice. Yeah, so let's do the customary. And then we just grab some food quickly. The cat is just off screen. Swear to God, does it on purpose. Why is the pressure lowering? I don't like the fact that the pressure is down to 69 kPa. Is that because it's pulling out? It just pulled out a whole bunch of oxygen. Yeah, I think it just pulled out a bunch of oxygen and it is now backfilling with CO2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 tiles. And we've got 18 tiles here in total, which means the pressure is going to decrease by half. Which is a lot. But the plants should be fine. It's me that won't be fine. Arbetar du undan den? He's pushing the freaking thingy in the wrong direction. Pushing it under the PC right now. Det är hon som håller på. It is Spark that is doing it. And she is very, very determined. Det gör det med den. We were starting to push it under the freaking chair, which then started to be a little bit in the way for me.
Oxygen low.
He's a very determined cat. Hmm. That's a couple of more planters. I'm totally not distracted by the cat, I promise. Speaking of being distracted, how did our rocket fare? Hey, it has landed and it came back with 4,491 moles of oxidizer. Which is pretty nice. That means we have a rocket that is, if we look at the cargo storage, it has a quantity of 64. Which is 100 stacks each. That is 6,400 iron sitting there waiting to be sorted out. Move these guys over here. While we continue on with what we were doing. We were doing some mining because we need some silicon. Some silicone, some silicone. Do not have the tracker ship in. There we go. Tracker ship is in. It is in our hand. We've got the lenses on. That's silver. We are looking for the white little boxes that is saying SI and not AG. Do 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 do. A little bit of silicone there. A little bit of silicone here. A little bit of silicone everywhere. And since we don't have our jetpack on, we are just gonna mine our way up that little pit. Continue onward, upward, forward. And then obviously downward because we need to mine it. Ooh. That's a nice chunk. Let's not break our suit on the way down. Because that'd be bad. That'd be very, very bad. Although we got a lot of oxygen in the suit, so even if we get a little bit of a tear and depressurize a bit. That's not silicone, that's freaking silver. God dang it. We just need to get our way through this, get us through this nice little oxidizer. Here we go. Do 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 do. So, question: do we rewrite the centrifuge script, or do we just we just revive our poor little? Actually, maybe I saved it. Did I export it? I might have exported it to my local thing. That would be the best. Now the crazy thing about the centrifuge is that unless you actually turn it off, it doesn't really properly empty. But if you turn it off, then obviously the circuit inside it is no longer going to be functioning. So I was thinking of doing a little bit of a workaround by having it turn on an IC housing in its shutdown parameters. And then the IC housing runs a program that handles the ignition again. Or, you know, checking the inventory and then turning it on again once it's fully emptied out. That way I wouldn't have the IC housing to deal with that turned on all the time. It would just turn on and off when it needs to. We need more silicone. Where is the silicone? Do I need to mine in space for it? Is there none on the rock? Okay, that's more silver. That doesn't help us. Not in this particular case. And the beacon is working properly. Thank you. Should I check that before I ran out of rendering range? So silicone. Hey, look at that, a light. Who could have thought? We see silicone, we see silicone. Beautiful. And that's silver, so we don't need to spend too much time in this little hidey hole. Are you? No, you are not. You are more silver. Holy smokes, there's a lot of silver on this rock. Feels like you'd never run into this much. Not nearly as much. Hey, look at that. Ooh. That's some nickel. And nickel is a little bit of a pain in the ass right now. So I'm thinking, do I mine the nickel? Or do I just ignore the nickel and go for more silicon? That is the question. That is absolutely adorable. You know what? Let's adjust this a little bit. Can I reach it? I cannot reach it. Not like this. Let's move you over to the crates. She's just laying down there and just chilling. Just casually poking the ball back and forth. There's some proper effort being made right there. That is a cat in my spirit. Because that's a little bit about what my energy level is at the moment, which you know, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're stabilizing our schedule a little bit, and we're getting things a little more into a rhythm. And once we have a rhythm going, it should be pretty good. I mean, we do some stream. I had an off day. I just kind of poke at things surrounding it. And some other stuff. And then we have a nice little fun stream evening. Holy smokes, the amount of freaking cobalt here. We have some fun. We build some stuff. We hopefully don't destroy too much. And just chill out. Now, speaking of new things, something that did pop in on my radar the other night, slash, the afternoon, was the new season for Wheel of Time that popped up. And saw the first episode on that. And oh boy, was I taking a blast. That was intense. It was like, I've seen this episode. Please no more for the evening. Do not have the mental capacity for it. And it's been a long time since I ran into a TV show that did that to me. Like a long time. That was pretty good. And if you haven't seen it, I would strongly advise seeing it. If you're not a fan of watching, TV series like that, I would strongly recommend the books. Because the books be amazing. One loose little rascal. No, dig the terrain, dig the terrain. Why is the terrain not being dug? We're not digging terrain, we're digging ore. Don't come here with your terrain. Oh, are we done at bedrock? Is that what? Yeah, we're done at bedrock. That's why it's being finicky. Is that also silicon? That seems to be silicon as well. Yes. It almost had hopes and dreams of it, but ghost silicon. We can grab some of this iron just to fill up our bag. Even though our bag was full and we emptied out into somewhere else. There we go. But I mean, there's no point in going back without a completely filled backpack, right? Okay, so cut that out. Turn off the glasses because we don't need to see that. And then we got our beacon right over there. I'm surprised we don't see the beacon light. Did they nerf the beacon light? Oh no, it was just stuff in the way. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have some silicon, we can get some more pipes, which will allow us to pull the hydrazine pipeline into the centrifuge room. And we got a whole bunch of iron, so we're going to be making a craptastic amount of chutes as well. We're going to need... Ooh, look at that, a rarity of the cooling going on. Shoots! Shoots! Give me some shoots! We need shoots here right now! Base is going to blow up without some shoots. Where's the shoots? Ah, shoot. So let's do some silicon smelting first. Power generation is seemingly going all right. We don't need that one running all the time. But it is nice that it is empty. Probably should have some code for it that just says, checks the content of it, and then if it's empty, it stops the output, because don't need to have it on if it's, I'm not in the room monitoring. And the damn thing's empty. Yeah, so we will do input. Get some fuel going on the inlet. There we go. There we have some fuel. That's 1 MPa worth of freaking fuel in there. Which is where we're starting. Dun, 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 dun. Now this is gonna cause some interesting side effects, because I'm hoping with the amount of fuel that we just popped in, right? We'll have enough gas in there to degas a lot of the silicon here. Because I'm thinking of setting up a heater and doing an automatic off degassing station. So basically a small little loop in an advanced furnace prior, and then have the heater set up to run at like, I don't know, 320 degrees or something. I don't know what the temperature is requiring for degassing. And then it would just cycle the gas out, because like silicon, as an example, provides you with nitrogen, pollutant, carbon dioxide. So, you know, this in particular doesn't really do a whole lot. But if you do something like silver, you get access to nitrous oxide, which is pretty nice. But nitrous oxide having one self-ignition temperature of like 60 degrees doesn't play nice with temperature at all. But if you have a little gasified loop, where you have a volume pump on it that just empties out of the pipe if it's got higher, or, you know, a higher volume in the pipe than, say, I don't know, 100 kPa or something. And then that just rotates in between the input and output of the furnace. So anytime you add an ore, it adds gas to that loop. It pulls some of the gas out. That way you'd have minimum amount of gas in the loop that you would constantly heat just to keep above like the intake temperature. Right now we pull that down to 485 Kelvin, which is like 200 degrees roughly. Now we're going to send that 200 degrees gas straight out of the straight into the output, which is going to go and mix with our hot steamy stuff, which, you know, is going to lower it a bit because it's a lot of gas that's going to pull down the medium temperature or the average temperature. But it's going to allow us to empty out the furnace completely, add just a little smidgen of fuel, ignite that, and then bam, Bob's your uncle. We just do this, right? We have 4.3 moles. So we have in total here, we got 15 moles worth of gas, which is pretty nice. And we just add a little bit of gas there. And then bam. Which was a total of like, you know, 10 moles. 15 moles of fuel. To do all of that smelting. On top of the fact, of course, the initial fuel, which is bringing me into that. It'd be nice if we could just have that set to play nice with the other temperatures. And if there's less gas that we need to constantly heat, that means there's less energy needing for the specific amount of gas. But if we go too low, it's gonna add too much heat to the gas, which will exceed the temperatures we want the gas to be harvested at. And then we're just emptying out the furnace, because I don't want to have anything in the furnace. It's gonna take a few minutes. Look at that, beautiful. And pop that in there, and now we can make a few pieces of glass. And you can keep making pipes, which is gonna use... Whoa. See? That thing could have freaking decapitated me. Let's calm down here. Calm down. Just calm down, little machine. Freaking hell. Trying to murder... I swear to God, it's trying to murder me. I mean, you saw the frames, or the other sheets. They barely left the freaking chute. As soon as I'm in the way, oh boy, it's gunning for me. It has an interest in murder. Look at it. It's freaking aiming at me. Sending the freaking glass sideways. Ugh. No. Just bad machine. Bad shoot. Now, do I just empty it? Do I just open it up? Right? You know, it'll reduce the gas in here by 50%, but I think it's fine. Let's just save as is. What are we on? We're on day 205. Pretty nice. Whee! That's not too terrible. Like the plants are still gonna be fine. Now I am slightly concerned over the coolant capacity that this pipe is having, so I might actually run the liquid pipe a little bit further so we can actually have a cooling radial here as well. Maybe. We're also gonna need to move those vents. That's fine. Part of the process, right? Pop these windshields. Bam, bam. And then we are gonna pop the plastic on these guys. Yeah. You can be hunger caution. And then we're just gonna grind the walls down. Oh yeah, we forgot to actually pull these guys as well. Bam, bam, and bam. And then we'll move this liquid pipe over out here along that wall instead. And or do we just move it down here and run it in the middle? Or do we just skip the pipes in the middle, turn this into a giant freaking lawn of ferns? I vote for the lawns of fern, the lawn of ferns. Yeah, so I think doing that. So we move the light there. We have one in the middle, and then we have the other one here. And then we do another set of lights over here. Yeah. We need a whole bunch of more liquid pipes. And it's a little bit spicy on the pressure right now.
Oxygen critical.
I didn't even bother to check the oxygen level. I'm just assuming that we're fine. But yeah, we're fine. Rip off the suit. We're good. We're good. I'm not dying. We're fine. I mean, the ratio is fine. We're just a little bit low on pressure. That's all. Which is actually a pretty good test towards how the gas addition is going. If it actually adds more gas to the system. Or if the volume pumps are just way too low to actually have a meaningful impact and I need to increase the multiplier for them. Because we need a crazy more amount of hydroponics trays. And then we'll see where we're at. Right? We just, you know, a bunch of them to fill in here in the middle. Like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So like, you know, 40 more or something. And that'll get us started. Not to mention the liquid pipes for it all. Yeah. We're fine. Hey, look at that. Insulated pipes. Yeah, so we're not ready to do this just yet. We are doing the greenhouse right now. We're not gonna get distracted from the greenhouse because the greenhouse is taking absolute immediate attention. As in, things are exploding if we don't. Now, do I want more chutes? Yes, I need more chutes. Do I want more trays? Yes, I want more trays. Do I have some more iron I can use for trays? Yes. Yes, totally. We just need to put it in the oven. Once again, forgot to actually, you know, do this. Bam, bam, bam. It won't process anything unless it has stuff in it here, so... Let's see how far down it'll process. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so 320, 373. So at 100 degrees, it'll stop. We don't want to cause more explosions than we need to. That iron is going into more trays of the hydroponic kind. And since we fixed that up, we can actually just throw stuff down there. I just don't know how I want to handle automation for the assembly. Like, I know how you can crudely do it. And I mean, technically it would be a vast improvement to what we're currently situated with. But I also kind of don't want to do it that way. What we could do, what we could do, like honestly, what we really should do, right? Totally not distracted. Totally not distracted at all. So we want to grab that. Grab this, and we will just clear this out. Clear this out, and then we do auto lathe. Grab that, and then we want to grab that. And that's the auto lathe. That's the button. $299,052. Right, so, and we do L, R0, LD, because we want to grab the button, activate. And if we, then we do ABQ, and then we do R0 greater than or equal to 1 because it's active. We want to grab make wire. And then we just, in here, we just do a SB auto lathe. And then we do inside the auto lathe. And this is why, you know, this is, I'm not super happy over it. I don't want to use it this way. I want to set it inside the internal memory rather than doing it this way. But basically we want to clear memory. Clear, what was it? It's actually called clear memory, right? We want to do clear memory. One, I presume, is clearing memory. Yeah. So here we're clearing the memory of the auto lathe. And then we're going to do SB auto lathe. And then we do We want to be using recipe hash because we are writing in the recipe hash. Recipe. And we're going to do define recipe with cable. And we're going to grab just regular good old straight cable. That is cable coil is the freaking recipe. That's what it is. Actually, we could do this. And then we can grab this thing instead. That way we know what the recipe is. Just by looking at it here. So we're setting the recipe hash to that item cable coil hash. And then we're just gonna do a until complete. And then we are gonna do here, we are just gonna do a BLT. And we're gonna grab items made. And we're gonna do alias items made R1. And if the items made is less than items to make R2. We're just gonna do until complete. Once we're done with it, it'll loop back out. So we're setting the recipe hash, we're turning it on, and then we do activate SB auto lathe activate 1. And here we do SB auto lathe activate. Is it? It should be activate, right? Yeah. So how do we read items made? Well, we do a L, and we do items made, and we want to do the auto lathe, which is actually, since it's a batch value, export count sum. That is the total export count of the device, which we clear it when we go into MakeWire. So we clear the internal memory, we set the recipe we want to be using, we activate it, which starts the process of whatnot. And I'm just doing it this way just to have a differential in it, so I can just see which part is doing what. And then in here, we are just yielding because it is a loop. We don't want it to be running a gazillion times per tick. We're loading the items made from the autolathe. We're checking if it's done, if it's not done. We don't want to do that, so we do move items to make, and we set that to 50. So that's a stack. And I don't know if setting it to 0 will actually stop it from running, or if we want to set it to 1 again. Right? If we check it right now. Yeah, so we hit activate to 0. So it's active until it's actually done, and then it'll turn off. And this is where the funny things comes in, because now here you could do like eject all resources, and then it sends it back into storage. And this is also where you could put in, like on the recipe selection, it could do wait until ingredients are available, and it could count how much of the resources you need to make the thing, and then request that amount, and then you could have the sorting and filter system doing whatever, and then, you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Anywho, it tries to make it until it's complete. What we could do here is we could also do a we could also set it so it's setting it to 1 each time, and I think it should work. Just like if it runs out of resources, it'll still try to add and make it. And if you add more resources to it, it'll just pick back up from where it left off and keep running. That should work. So now, if I hit the button, it's gonna try to make wires. Yes, it'll try to make wires even if it doesn't have the resources for it. And here you could do, I wonder if I do this, right? Cook that out, export, bam. Does it do the thing? If I hit that there. Yeah. It stops. And if I'm not completely mistaken, this is essentially what did it not? You not happy? Set the recipe and start. Oh yeah, because I removed. Well, it should do the thing here. Although if it does the thing and then it's missing reagents, that's a condition it's not handling. That's LB for you, autolathe. And it has a parameter for I'm pretty sure, does it have reagents? It's quantity that has. It's quantity that can return the stuff on it. Even if we're reading the reagent, we can't do that. We would need the missing recipe reagent, which gives us a quantity of the missing reagents and the missing reagent type. You know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna hit it with 1. Just have it keep making it. But yeah, that is essentially a button that makes 50 wires. Now, as you can see, you can tell it to do anything. Because you clear the memory of it. So you can have, 4 buttons that each do their own thing. Like, make heavy cables, make regular cables, make pipes, make, whichever, whatever. And you would just condition it based on it. And then you can hook it up to the vending machine. And you can have the vending machine pop out the resources required to make it. And do all kinds of cool things. But if you do tie it in and manage to figure out a way to deal with the internal memory system of it and the internal cache, then you can do really cool things in very little code. Because you can tell it, you can tell it internally with the quantity, rather than having to kind of muck about with whichever. You could also have it tell and print out missing resources and the type of resources, and the quantity of missing resources, and do all kinds of fancy things. Now, if you tie that together with a vending system that has a bunch of sorters, that also has a bunch of stackers that you can deal with, that way we could export, say, I want copper of this quantity, and the vending machine pops out the stack of copper, passes through a stack, vending machine passes through the stack into the stacker sets based on that quantity, it passes onward, and then that stack remaining cycles back into the vending machine. And then you can also have the vending machine automated, so if it has more than one stack of a singular item, it pops both stacks out, and it'll stack them together up to a quantity of 500. There's a lot of cool automation things you can get away with. For it. I'm just curious whether or not it'll stop making it 50 and just work. Because I am pretty sure, I haven't looked at it, but I'm pretty sure that's how Cows Are Evil script is looking. But instead of having the quantity set in the code, it checks the stacker or the quantity set in the stack size, and that's the quantity of the items it's gonna make. Which is, once again, not helping my case of figuring out the internal memory code, but it does do the job, and it's a lot more easier use friendly than my approach to it for anyone that is actually using the code and or adapting to it. But it's not what I want out of the code. I want it to do a little bit more out of a little bit less. What was I doing? I was doing greenhouse. We do need a little bit of pap, and we need the grow lights. Holy smoke! Grow lights, grow lights. We need some grow lights. Another 3 grow lights. We're not gonna have enough electrum in the machine. Pop that in there. Gonna need more copper in the machine. Pop that in there, and that's gonna be enough grow lights. While those are doing it that way, we are gonna do you're gonna push this down here. And that is gonna be our new location for our vent in the opposite end of the room. And then we're gonna grab some grow lights, we're gonna grab some cable, and we're gonna move those around. Hey, look at that! It made 50 cables. What a shocker! Bam, bam, ba, bam. Whenever I need more cable, I can just hit that button and it'll make cable. Now, what I'm probably gonna do with it, I am probably gonna do a dial that's read by multiple machines. And then I'm probably gonna have a dial that is read by multiple machines for the quantity. I'm gonna have a dial linked to a hash display that filters recipe. And I'll have the commonly, like the set common recipes for a few items. Oh yeah, I need to set the grow lights from the inside, don't I? Ay ay ay. Okay. Let's just work quickly then. Fuck it. We're at nighttime, so we're fine. We're gonna redo the wiring for these anyway. I just don't want to have the wiring in the way when I move the devices. Because we're gonna need to go inside, rip out the ones that we have in place right now. That's 7. I wanted 9.
Waste tank caution.
Oh boy, that was some aggressive sneezing. And then we do the passive vent. Pop that down there. There we go. That one on place. Pop you. So we want to do. Is this the middle? That feels like the middle, right? And then we do you there. And that's basically, what, 2 spacings in between? Yeah. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2. So over there. Yeah, that'll be good. Wasn't even paying attention to what freaking side the wire comes out at. And then we do you here. There we go. And the grow lights are on, so we need to get our asses out. Not move these guys in here. And look at that, and our pressure is starting to build up as well. Nice. Granted, I should probably put the pressure a little bit higher now that we have a lot better control over it. But the sun is coming up, so we are gonna need to do... Yes, these guys are inward, and these guys are... That pipe's gonna be smack right in the way. Of course it is. Oh well. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it is cheaper to just pull it across. Ah, I didn't want to do that. I want to have my remaining. There we go. That works. And of course, from this side it isn't, because... Who freaking who? Now the nice thing is, because I'm running it on batch code, I just need to hook up more lights, and then bam, it just works. Now I know the positioning of them, so I can put up the cables. And I'm gonna need to move that pipe. Because I could put that down there, and that would work the same way. Why did I not do that? I don't know. This is why people shouldn't let me be in control of things. Let alone a space station. Now, to be fair, I don't know if this is a better way of doing the pipe or if it's a worse way of doing the pipe. But it is a way of doing the pipe. And that gives us leeway up to the next light. And oh smack, I forgot that one. And yes, I am we just hooked it up there. Yeah. It's the shortest path. Do it that way. There we go. That's all the lights connected again, and then we just need the two placed there to have that all hooked up, and then we can focus on getting the other things sorted. Totally not a slight distraction from our intended rocket splurge. Yeah, exactly. Who let me control this space station? Who went to the trouble on and letting me, or is that just, you know, I got sent to a penal colony, and this place is just what I deserved. Maybe that's why they sent me down with a broken ass lander that, you know, they weren't expecting me to make it out of there alive. There we go, look at that. All of the lights in this place up and running, operational, and, you know, whichever. And it's some spare lights there. That's fine. So, now that we have that in order and read on full lawn here, that's what I heard. We're just gonna do it this way. That way I don't need water pipes or liquid pipes. I can just, you know, put the little thingy here. But these already have water, so we're just gonna leave them there. Gonna hook up all of these things. It was supposed to be a one-way trip. Yeah, I think so. Not meant to survive the journey. And we are once again harvesting some plants so we can make more plants. But I mean, this should really crank up our capacity for oxygen.
Hunger caution.
one more row and then we'll plant. See how much we need. But it is a lot of plants. It truly is. Although fixing up automation and doing like 2 rows of switchgrass for some biomass would probably not be a bad idea. There we go. That is the whole thing planted, which means we are going to be splurging on oxygen soon. Waste tank is almost full.
Oxygen critical.
Need to drink prior to putting on the helmet.
Oxygen critical.
Bashing my helmet at the freaking fountain. We're like, why can't I drink? Where's my dashboard, by the way? Give me that stream manager. There we go. Bam, bam, bam. Ooh. So, empty out our waste tank. Okay. Hopefully that'll even out a little bit. Now, something we are going to be doing eventually here is some GMO. Get those fern bushes up to 25% oxygen production. Reduce the water consumption a little bit. Speaking of water consumption, something we don't want to be happening is, you know, the water pipe exploding on us because of being overfilled. But we're fine. 22,000 liters capacity, 600 in it. I think we are fine for the foreseeable future, considering that is all the water we have manufactured so far. And that thing has been running from the start. But that's still, you know, that's still, what was it, 600 liters of water? I think we're good. I think, you know, we're going to keep manufacturing water. But I think we're pretty good on water. Right, so now that we have a little bit more oxygen manufacturing, we're gonna need some hydrogen mining, but you know, that's a problem for later. I think for the moment, we are gonna take some of these pipes. You know what? Let's take you, put you in here. Put you in here, put you in here. I'll put you in here. And then we're just gonna grab all the pipes we can muster. And we're gonna see how far we can get with a pipeline. From the atmospherics. Because we do have a whole new pipe we need to pull up. Not entirely sure how we're gonna fit another pipe. I mean, we do have a little bit of space, but we are running out of space here. I would have liked to push that pipe here, but that would leave us in a bit of a predicament with these guys. Unless, of course, we run them externally around through the cables. That could work. So instead of doing the messy thing there, although it's still gonna be messy. But at least that will free up the slot in the middle here to run the hydrazine pipe. Because we're also gonna need 2 liquid pipes. We're gonna run liquid nitrous oxide and we're gonna run liquid volatiles. Although, when we do that, we at least get rid of the orange pipe, because the orange pipe is just using regular fuel, and... Okay. Yeah, let's just run the hydrazine pipe here. And we'll worry about the details later. So we are gonna run a purple pipe right here. Which also means we need to lower... Or actually, no. We had that in mind when I pulled the yellow pipe. It was intended to it. Now, we didn't leave any room for it like idiot we are for the rest of the pipes, but that's adjustable. Also, there's a drill here, which is kind of funny. Found another long-term drill here. So we're gonna have that purple pipe come down here. And I didn't want to run out of the pipe because I need to color the pipe. Go away, shoot. Now, do I go on the inside for convenience? Or do I go above? Although that's going to be painful either way. We're probably going to redraw some of these pipes later. I don't want to think about it right now, but we are probably going to end up having to redraw some of these pipes. We are just gonna accept that we have a little bit of a mischievous pipe there. There we go. So this is also gonna be a tank and a mixer over here somewhere. Yeah, because we're gonna be mixing in between these two guys. We're gonna mix the green stuff with the red stuff, and it turns into kaboomy stuff. So I technically don't need to do more because we are going to have this mixer here. And that's going to be going over there. Yeah. There we go. Because that's essentially going to be just another mixer. But it is going to be mixing 1-to-1 ratio with the NOS and the volatiles. And it's going to be the good kaboomy stuff. We are just going to grab you for the red. And then we're going to do... If we do... Yeah, the wire is... I don't like the fact that the wire happens on the opposite freaking side. But that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That means the mixer is happening on the right side for once. Because we basically have the volatiles there. And then we have you. And then we have you. Actually, that works out quite nicely with this thing. Look at that. Bam, there we go. Once I pop the mixer there, we are all good to go. And then I just need to snag the code that runs the gas fuel mixer, which I believe, yeah, fuel mixer and combustion controller. Although this guy doesn't have a slot, so I could put in a new chip here. And that'll handle the NOS regulation. Yeah, because we'll probably, you know what, we are gonna, I lied, we are gonna continue that thing. We are gonna continue it down the path. And it's gonna be the path of the righteous over here. Because what we want to be using is, we also want to be using a tank. Because that allows us to pull the tank data. For reading the storage. We'll do it that way. Do we need to go one above? We do need to go one above. We need to go one above, because otherwise we won't be able to pass over the tank. And then this guy goes like that. Was I one too short? No, it's in line. Because then we'll have the hydrazine tank there. And yes, I know it's not technically hydrazine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And that should be pretty solid. Does that make things hotter for the Stirling engine? No. So, the hydrogen fuel, well, sort of by the end of it, but not at the moment. So this fuel mixer is going to the rockets eventually. Or in its current form, it's not going to go to the rockets because I don't want this particular gas to go in there because the pressure is not going to be able to be high enough for the volume to be useful. But it is going to be going into the combustion centrifuges. And then the gas that comes out of the combustion centrifuges are going to be returned into the Stirling engine. Now, I don't know exactly the temperature of that gas, so we're going to have to figure that out. But I think it's going to be slightly colder. Like, it's probably going to be like 700 degrees or something, 600, 700, which is going to be colder than our water steam right now. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but, and this is where the kicker comes in. So what we can do with this gas is we can use it to fuel a gas fuel generator. That's right, the GFG. We're returning to that sucker. The only downside is I'm gonna need to pull oxygen, and I'm gonna need to pull nitrogen, and I need to get a nitrolyzer going. But that in comes our conundrum. The nitrolyzer eats a crap ton of power. I don't know if that's in the, yeah. So the nitrolyzer makes nitrous oxide. Now, it doesn't transform the gas completely. But you can essentially hook in nitrogen and you hook in oxygen into the inputs, or you can have a premix. And out comes a mixture, right? So the mixture that pops out is a bit of oxygen, a bit of nitrogen, and nitrous oxide. Now, I do not remember the temperature the mixture comes out with. But you'll create more NOS if you have enough gas in the machine to run a 1-to-1 ratio of it. But you still need to filter it. And like I said, when the nitrolyzer is running, it uses 6 kilowatts on its own. Like that baby is freaking power hungry. And my concern is that we do not have nearly the sizable power bank to sustain it. Because the hope and idea is that we make NOS. We use a chunk of that NOS for the GFG. Now, if the GFG runs on NOS fuel, that sucker can output like 30 kilowatts of power. And then the more fuel you feed it, the higher that power generation can be. Like the GFGs can produce probably up to like 50 kilowatts if you just feed it enough fuel. And then you take the burn-off gas that's coming out of the GFG, which is like 1200 degrees, and you chug it through a Stirling engine setup similar to what we already have. Which will mean that whatever power the GFG is already making, you can get another like 10 kilowatts worth of power from it by filtering it through a Stirling engine setup. Yeah, I think you can get up to like 100 kilowatts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. It's just a matter of how much fuel you're feeding it. And I'm not entirely sure how quickly the nitrolyzer can work if you feed it full power. Like, can one nitrolyzer feed enough NOS to do a full freaking GFG, like at full, at like cranked up full potential, or do you need like 4 nitrolyzers to keep up with it, and then you need like a gazillion amount of oxygen? Because if you purify all the gas that's coming out of it, you are going nitrogen positive. You're continuously just bulk manufacturing nitrogen by consuming oxygen. So it's not a bad machine to get nitrogen either. Now, once you have enough nitrogen and you are generating it from all the other sources, you can start venting it, or you can start using it for jet propellant again. Or, you know, jetpack propellant. Which is kind of where I'm hoping us to be here. That's gonna be the tank. Although this pipe is probably in the way, but you know, we'll move things around a little bit. You don't need to have those machines idling power if they don't need to. I probably want to hook that up to one single button as well. So you are gonna be wanting to go through here. And that's gonna be additional fuel. Do I just want to run that? Yeah, we're getting a little bit crowded on pipes here. Maybe I just run that along the floor. I don't want to run it along the floor, but I don't think we have a lot of options here. It's too crowded. It's way too crowded. I need another floor of utility. Unless, of course, we run it on the right side. Or move some of the other stuff over to the right side. I think our hab stuff can probably have moved over to run on this side instead. Probably, possibly, maybe, perhaps. Okay, so yeah, let's grab let's put that over there. Then we'll pull it along the floor. This is gonna be the spicy stuff. It's gonna be the truly, truly spicy stuff. Where do we have the floor? Here. Let's tile too far. Now, as you can probably tell, we're not gonna make it there with the cables or with the pipes. I don't think so, at least. Because this is going into the silo room. Now we'll come a good chunk of the way, but definitely not getting us all the way. And I'm leaving a gap here because we are gonna need a waste pipe down there as well. But it is gonna be a hot waste pipe, so it's gonna be a yellow pipe. And it is gonna go into the Stirling engines, which we'll figure out where we want to do that. We got you here, and then we got the fuel, the hydrogen fuel there. There we go. No, not all of them. God damn it. Keep doing it. Right. I don't like the way I did that. Can I do... And then we do 1. And then we do 1. And then we do not have enough. I don't want to put that there. Okay. We need a bunch more pipes. Let us grab all of these chutes. Most delicious. Purple is the universal sign of spicy. Hello, Faldoma. Hope you are having a wonderful Thursday. We are moving along with our sorting system. I just had to, I got a little bit distracted. Did we connect that all the way up? How the hell did... Wait, what? Oh, yeah, we haven't put the freaking chute umbilical on yet. We needed to manufacture one of those. I was like, what? Why is there a chute connected to nothing there? But that's supposed to be the chute umbilical, which not gonna have enough either because that thing's gonna need power. Just woke up after my 30+ hour day. Insomnia loves me. Ooh, that's rough. I feel you. So that chute is running all the way down here. Yeah. Don't you worry about my hunger. And then we run this the chute all the way over here. Or do I want to move? Yeah, you know what? We want to move this centrifuge over. Yeah, we want to move the centrifuge over. Because we are going to have a silo that's laying down here. And then we'll have bam, bam, bam. Since the silo is going to end up in the middle, we're going to do this. I think that silo head is going to come in here. And then that's going to eject down here. And then that'll go into the inlet. Because then we also get the inputs on the right side here. So let's just leave these chutes here. Because we are going to need all the chutes. We are going to grab some steel sheets. We're going to grab some plastic sheets. And as you can tell... Actually... Hang on. See, we were doing it with this guy. This guy doesn't need to be here. This guy we can reclaim because I was thinking, you know what, let's just run with regular fuel for a while. But we can pop in some freaking nitrites in there and get some NOS. That way we don't need this fuel line here. We can replace this fuel line. And have it with the spicy line. Actually, we don't want to pull it all the way down because we're going to have that other one here. And then we're going to have our fuel line in. And then we're going to have bad pipe. We're going to have our fuel line in. And then we're just going to have our hot, spicy waste pipe out of there. And that's going to be pretty nice. We are looking at this. There we go. And that fuel line is going to be going down here. Because then we have the input for the centrifuge is going to be neat. And then that is going to be our fuel inlet. And then we have that yellow pipe with the outlet, which we're going to need to figure out. That is gonna be pretty freaking nice. Day 209. Why, oh why, oh why? Also, Phildoma, since you are here, how would you like an automatic button to make 50 copper wire? Right? 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 So we do this, you know, got our stairwell here. And then we just, bam, hit the button. And it makes 50 wires. I got bored of just building. I needed some MIPS. So we did some MIPS. Hey, look at that. CO2 is not going up, but oxygen is. Now hydrogen is going down, but you know that's the way of hydrogen. Except that, you know, it should be going up because hydrogen. Ho 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 ho. I thought it was pretty funny. Wow, falling. Right. Dismantle this thing. What do I need? Wire cutters. And then we need angle grinder. And then it's hand drill. Bam, bam, bam. Not bad. Obviously, the cables are going to be funky, but I think we can live with that. Anger critical. And then we have the chute there. Then we had, what did we have here? We had welding torch and the steel sheets. And then it's cable coil. Bam, done. To move these guys out of here. I don't need a flip-flop yet. Because that's just going to cause problems. I actually don't want a flip-flop at all. I want a powered one that I can control. There you go. Okay, so we need a umbilical chute.
Hydration critical.
And then we can start sending items into the silo. That way we can empty a rocket and get shit sorted out. Shoot umbilical. Which also means we need to revise our code here a bit. But we need the PC for that. The laptop. Because right now we only have... we just have it controlling the... I don't need to remove it. We can have it here. Because right now we got gas U, power U, and then we do shoot U. That's right, you heard me. And that's all we need to do to adapt the code. And then we just need to plug in this shoot U. And should be pretty good. And yes, I know the food's down on 0. Hydration is down to 13%. We're fine, we're fine, we're fine. I should have brought more chutes though, because we are gonna need to rewire a few chutes. Because well, maybe not, because we're gonna get a few chutes for free here. Come on, let me pick it up. There we go. And that thing aligned properly. See, the problem is we need wire to connect to that one, which means the chutes are gonna need to come out more. I'm thinking just do it like here. Now I should have those freaking glasses. That would make this much easier. There we go. Oh, I just need a little bit of heavy cable. And we have that here because I left some spare just because I knew I was gonna need more when I don't have some. There we go. Don't need that much, but there we go. And as proof for is it connected to the network and system and code? Yes, because it's retracting because everything else is retracted. Leave that wire down here in case I need more. I can bring the mixer because I don't need that guy here, and I do need it down there with the nitrous oxide. So now I can turn on that I can turn on and connect the chutes. That is going to deplete our hydrogen supply though. As you can see, light turns red because we now have our umbilicals connected and we are refilling our fuel supply. We can also look at the cargo storage and we can do bam. Now we can hit that open and that'll start depleting and sending out the quantity of items. While that is sorting out, let's get some refill. Also, look at that. It is not decreasing, but it's also slightly increasing. It was 16% when we redid things. We're making it powerful. We're making it stronger. We're making it more successful. And look at this. It is growing. It is nice. They're growing moderately well. I don't know why they're being complaining a little bit. I'll need to figure that out. Are they just not getting enough sun? Ooh, I know why they're having problems. We're having power problems. That's a slight cause for concern. But then again, it is also not surprising considering that we are currently charging the rocket as well. But that would explain it. They haven't gotten enough sunlight because the lights aren't on at all times because they are flickering. Let's do waste. Let's do oxygen. Let's do jetpack. And let's do power. I don't like the fact that I need to have that cranked up to what is it now? 16,000. I mean, our battery levels are fine with the power it's consuming, but evidently I need to have that on 16,000. We're only making 9,000. Now, if I could make another gas exchanger... Right. We could crank up the amount of flow through. %25 filled. Not bad. Not bad at all. And it is mainly liquid now that the pressure's building up as well. Don't know if I should just build more large radiators. Like, it doesn't feel like it should be needed. Really doesn't feel like it should be needed. Because, I mean, if this is the heat generation from 2 Stirling engines and it can barely keep up with the cooling of it, what about the gas fuel generator, right? What about, 4 more Stirling engines? I mean, granted, I could just put another counterflow heat and just put it in sequence. That way I wouldn't need more throughput on the liquids. Maybe I can test that out. Don't we have another direct flow heat exchanger here somewhere? Medium radiator. Didn't I make another one? Yeah, counterflow heat exchanger. There you are. And then we have some steel pipes. What we don't have is other pipes. We don't have more insulated pipes. Except for this unit of 7. I don't have insulated liquid pipes. I don't have some lanes. Okay, let's grab those 7 as well. We have that guy. What do we need? I need more steel. Chuck you in there. So, if we do it that way, hey, look at that! Some more trays. So we need what, like 10 pipes, maybe? Maybe something. See how far we get. So my thinking here is, we've got this flow, right? It's pushing through here, and then it's pushing out here. And we just want to extend the functionality. Get another frame. That's going to be liquid downwards and then gas up. And then we just extend the gas output in there and then whoop. I'm confused as to why that temperature is 24 degrees. Holy smokes. Okay. I don't know what happened to the gas. But I mean, it's keeping the room cold. It's keeping the room a little bit too cold. I don't like the fact that it hits like negative 40. We can probably reduce the throughput here then. Yeah, because this is now exchanging like 50 to 60 kilojoules every so often. So the temperature going out is 40 degrees. The in-between temperature is at a ridiculous rate. And then the input temperature back into the room is 20 degrees or less. That should be a decent cooling for this indefinite. Now the reason why I don't like the negative temperatures is because we're using CO2 as coolant. And CO2, when it starts to be cold and under pressure, it starts to condensate, which is really bad. So I'm just hoping this plays nice. I mean, it seemingly does it, but I don't like these negative 30 spikes. I mean, as long as it keeps producing power. At the freaking temperature it's at as well, which is nice. Then this thing doesn't need to soak up all the power here either. Okay, so we should be pretty solid. Now we need some heavy cable. Look at that beautiful little 50 stack of cable. Delicious, delicious stuff. Bam. Now let's cut the power cable here. And let's pull this along the way. Then we can get that outer heavy cable roll that we left over there. And that'll get us power to the centrifuge as well. And we just need a little bit more pipes. Do you have anything controlling pressure in your furnace room, like for making stellite? Well, see, I will do that. Because right now, this is my furnace room. This is the furnace. No, so we'll have all the sorting here, and then we'll have a chute system that's going to be continuing on, and it's going to go through a little service hatch here, and that is going to go into the smelting room, and the smelter is going to be requesting the ores to smelt, and that'll handle all the temperature and all the gas changes and everything. Give me a second. There we go. We are of the returned. Refill the freaking water fountain. It was starting to be a little bit sad, making noises. Right. Where was I? Power cables. But yeah, I hope that answer gave you some insight to it. So I have a chart that we made on the gray board earlier with how I want to set it up, and I want to have the gases. I want to have a setup with all the different gases that is going to be required to run the different things, and it is going to be essentially it's going to be, I think it's 4 gas tanks. I think it is. Which reminds me that I didn't need to pull the fuel line. I'm still gonna use regular fuel for the furnace, so that was a little bit of a waste of time. But yeah, actually we can hit that up. We can be a little bit fancy. No, I'm gonna be degassing it. Well, sort of. I'm looking at also. Please, mouse. What are you doing? Thank you. The idea is to use. Ooh, that freaking. Space alien. Space alien. Let's just kill the camera. While that's loading up. So freaking bright. So bright. We made, let me pull back the camera. We made this thing, right? And it is essentially what's kind of being dealt with. So here, we will have a little circle around here. So we'll have a heater here, is my expansion on it. And then so you have your general silo storage. That gets shuffled over into a regular furnace, or, you know, an advanced furnace. And that'll have its input and output connected. And then you'll have a valve, a waste valve on it. So when the gas here exceeds a certain limit, it sends that off into, I guess the waste is already kind of indicating it. Basically, if the pipe of the input and output exceeds a value, it gets sent to waste. The remainder is being heated up to the minimum, slightly over the minimum value that you need in order to process ore, which is above 100 C. So this heater will be set to like 105. And that'll keep the gas in the furnace at the temperature. It'll be able to process the ore. Once the ore is processed, it gets sent to the furnace. That way, any ore that goes in here is degassed, detemperatured, and whichever. And depending on what you want to smelt, it'll open up the a turbo pump is where I'm leaning to go, because that way I can just switch mode on it. I don't need to have both a valve and a pipe, a pump on it. So when I need a set pressure, it'll just put the mode into furnace, and then it'll gradually add pressure until the furnace is happy. And then when it is done smelting, it shifts that back into the gas container it came from. So if I want to, smelt wasp alloy, I just grab that 500K temperatured gas, put that into the furnace, because nothing ore-wise coming into this furnace is going to be affecting the temperature at all here, because it's already been pre-processed. Same thing for Invar, it'll pull the 1400, and then the Electrum basic, and whatever else, it'll just have a 1900 Kelvin. And then the Hastalloy. And this is kind of where I was sorting out. So you only need 4 tanks to do this. I was looking over like how many different tanks of gas do I need? Is this is this feasible? Is it better to just have 2 different tanks than one that you just heat up while you do it? But you should be fine on 4 tanks with 500 Kelvin, 1400 Kelvin, 1900 or above, and 970 Kelvin. Because that's the thresholds of the different metals and alloys that is really distinguished. So the wasp alloy and solder is on the low end. The Hastalloy is kind of in the middle range. And then the Invar on the high peak, but that's still within the 1200 and 1500 Kelvin range. Anything else outside of these 4 alloys just requires a specific pressure rather than a temperature. Which means anything else can go from this other basic tank. And that's kind of where I was leaning towards doing. And then seeing, if it works, it works. Awesome. If it doesn't work, well, back to the drawing board and figure things out again. Either way, it'll keep me occupied. That should be... That should be our power connection. And that way, like you said, I don't need to deal with any weird... mass heating or having a gazillion heaters eating up a whole bunch of power. I just need to set, I need this gas, activate this pump. Bam, done. There we go. And that is power into our silo. Beautiful. Now, just because I can, just because I want, look at that dirty space ore stacking in 20. Which is actually kind of terrifying. It's stacking in 20. Shouldn't there be like a shit ton more stacks? Or is the yield of this ore so high? Do you know if the smelting consumes any gas? No, no. Smelting never consumes any gas.
Hunger caution.
That's what I was looking for. No, the only thing smelting consumes is heat, and it generates gas. If you pre-process the ore in a furnace, it'll eliminate the gas generated once it's processed into the next one. But that actually that's crazy. So each of those single pieces of ore that's inside the silo right now is 100 iron. That's pretty wild. I heard it do. You are making a ruckus. So you are becoming a TV celebrity here, yes? A Twitch celebrity. A little spark. She's like, no, this is not what I wanted to do. This is not what I wanted to do. No. Boink. You can tell that she's not appreciating it when she folds back her ears. So like, I am in combat mode right now. I will bite you. Not that she would, but you know. She makes a presence of I am a predator, do not touch me. I am in play mode. I'm busy. Yeah, so that silo is hooked up there. And then it's just a matter of yanking it open, filling the combustion centrifuge, connecting the combustion centrifuge to power. I feel like we moved these guys like a gazillion times so far, but yeah. Put these on the same side. So. Det var väldigt bestämt, miau. Alltså. How would you go about determining if any printer on a network is currently printing? Check the activate. So, I'm assuming it's a production device, right? The activate parameter, this guy, it is 1 if it is running. It'll stay as 1 if it's currently in a production cycle, but it won't reset to 0. Just batch check it. So if you do summary, it'll sum up all types of that on the network. Oh, I got the thingy right here. So if you do lathe, I mean you can take it further step, but essentially you grab this, we do define lathe, and we do a you do a read batch, and then you just read alias active devices, and then you do lathe, And then you do activate, if I can spell, and do a summary. So summary on batch mode will take the total sum of all devices across the network of that type and summarize the total value that they get out of this. So if you have lathe 1, lathe 2, lathe 3, and they're active, pops out as, you know, this guy's not doing anything, this guy's not doing anything, and this guy's doing something, then the summary is going to be 1. You would just do the same thing. So you would need to do an addition for it, but you can easily do that with printer. If we do the electronics printer, if we grab both of these, you would still need to read them to different things. So we change this out to active lathe. So that way we have our active lathes and our active EPs. So here we do active EP. We can actually just rename the R0 variable. And do the same thing here. So we check the EPs. We summarize it. And then we just do a add. And do, you know, R5 or whatever you want to put it at. Now R5 will have the total sum of both the electronic printers as well as the lathes. You would need to do an addition for each additional thing you want to do. So if you want to extend this out to do you would still need to you would still need to I mean, you can skip the alias if you want to. You can just call this R0 R1 R0 R1 just to skip lines. But yes, you would still need to define each processing machine that you want to calculate on, because that's just how code works. So you would need to do this. So here's the thing. With the manufacturing devices, they're very unique. In normal cases, activate would only register on the interaction event itself. But for the machining devices, activate is always on as long as it has something that it is running on. So, for example, like if you grab a button, for example, you hit it with activate, and it does the thing on the button pressed, and then it unpresses and activate goes back to 0. Whereas for the tool, for the manufacturing devices, that activate is 1 for the entire duration until it is told to stop or stop by lack of resource. Now you can tell it to stop in code by setting the activate to 0. So whatever comes out of here have my printers and benches set to turn off the occupancy sensor when I'm not in the room. If I have a job running, I want to be able to leave the room. Right. So do you want them to... I will eventually shell that with a quantity trigger as I add to the system. So this is the crude way of doing it, right? And I know, like Counselor Evil script, as an example, that I know Feldoma uses, and is generally floating around because it's a pretty freaking solid thing. Operates in kind of, it checks from when the device last made a thing. So if you want to look at, for example, remotely crafting something, I have this set up. So I'm activating a button, and then I'm just checking for if the button is active, and then it makes wire, clears the memory of the lathe, sets the recipe by the recipe, and then it starts the device. And then what it does is it just checks that the quantity I want to make is reached from the export quantity of the device. Now, in here, I could also set it to SB. Auto lathe on 0. So I could tell it to turn it off once it's completed the cycle that I want to make. Now, if you want to dig deep into it, what you're trying to do, or what I presume that you want it to do by automation and clever niftiness, is something that you are going to need to use the internal memory stack for to properly do. Like, you can probably work around the problem using the regular parameters, but there's a lot of things in here that you can't get access to. Like, you can read the quantity of reagents, but you can't read the actual reagents in the device. So you can't read specifically, does it have copper, as an example, which would be a prerequisite for you wanting to make copper wire. Right, essentially, and activate signal of every other printer. It's adding them together. But it falls down into how far you want to push it, because you can also deal with push it to stack and popping each individual device. That way, you could have this specific type of device turns off when its export count has reached its, the target quantity you want to be making. But a lot of that can also be a little bit of a hassle, because what you're looking for is a way to deal with the missing recipe reagent. You are looking for a way to deal with execute recipe, and execute recipe has a recipe prefab hash as well as a built-in quantity parameter. And you can use that in combination with comparing the quantity variable here and setting that to the destination for turning it off if you're out of the room and the quantity that it was manufacturing has been reached. But once again, that's dealing with internal memory, and internal memory dealing is very scary. I still don't freaking understand it. Like, I can do the logic sorter. That's not a problem anymore. I still don't understand how to properly deal with the OP codes. And pointing to the right parameter in here. Because the brute force way of doing it is check if the total sum of the devices are 0. If they are 0 and you're not in the room, turn them off. which is like I said initially. So you would do define device type 1. Well, sort of, yeah. So it would be, device type 2, find device type 3, find device type 4, and then it would be, yeah, it would essentially be that. You would have device types up to 4, and then you would just do activate, and then summary. Grab those. Now that's all the summary for all of them. Hey, Discount Engineer. Hope you have had an excellent day. Just doing some basic MIPS, quality of life, manufacturing control run through with Atrius. And then we do sensor, essentially. And this would be, the occupancy sensor, which I believe is what is that parameter? It's quantity. So this is basically what you're looking at, and then you want to be looking at adding R0, because we can just grab the initial values for all the things. R2, R2, and R3, and then add R0, R0, and R2, and that has us summarized all of the devices and all of the summary active. So here, R0 equals total summarized activate on all machines. And then we just want to do a and R0, because, just wrapping it up. R0 and R4, because R4 is our sensor. We don't want to do that. I'm just getting ahead of myself. We want to do a let me brain this through here. Because we want to check if we can do that. So we can check if it's not 0. And we use that R4. So if the room sensor is not 0, we have this as 1. So this is flagging as 1 if it's not in the room. And then we do the same thing there. Actually, we do, yeah. So here we can check if you're in the room So if any of the devices are active, yeah. Oh yeah, and I am having food here, so I think we'll shop it a little bit short because I haven't eaten dinner yet, and it's 11:20. Is there a more clever way to scan for devices activating without being this literal? You can, like I said, you can use push pop. I can run you through it tomorrow, or on the Discord. But yeah, so with that, I am gonna head out, and it's gonna be eating time for longer than it's gonna be sensible for you guys to stick around. And then I'm going to sleep because work tomorrow again. So, without further ado, we are gonna find someone to raid. And unfortunately, and I do apologize, slightly abruptly. So if anyone is tuning in right this second, yeah, look at the LR command. See, now you're throwing words at me. Because that is... Ooh, right. Yeah, because you can read reagent. Yeah. That is... Thank you, Skirius. That was pretty much what I was looking for, because that allows you to read the reagent. Thank you. Anywho, find someone to raid. Who do we raid? Same category. Find another poor little stationeer. Splitsy. I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna throw everyone over to Foldoma. He needs some company. He needs some love. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll be on as my schedule is now settled around. It'll be a little bit later start tomorrow because of Friday, but until then, take care, good night, have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one.